Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Amanda, and today we are going to be planting my back deck railing planters. Say that 10 times fast. We're going to amend the soil with a little bit of compost. We're just going to get it all mixed up, throw everything back in there, and go ahead and plant some lettuces, kale, almost said cabbage, lettuces, kale, spinach, that kind of stuff. We're going to get that planted before this next round of rain comes. We're supposed to be getting some rain Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday, starting Sunday, it's going to be super nice for the rest of the week, and we'll have a lot more videos of the outside garden, in-ground garden, outside garden, in-ground garden, and you'll come along with that. And I'm also going to be, after this planting and the rain passes, maybe Sunday I'm going to dig a little bit into the bigger planters and get those fixed up and planted as well. But before we go do that, I'm going to go ahead and show you how our seedlings are doing, since you guys have been with me through planting those. Okay, you guys have been with me since I started these little seeds, and these guys, they're starting to leaf out pretty darn good. So I'm going to choose a rainy day, Friday night or Saturday, maybe in the morning time, to repot and uppot these, because they're going to start competing for soil or root space. And so now I'm going to want to separate these out. And I mean, look, we've got tons and tons of plants here. So we're going to have a lot of tomato plants, and these are just the Amish paste tomatoes that I planted. So that's going to be the majority of what I planted in my garden this year, because I get the most use out of paste tomatoes. And then these are these the cabbage? Hang on one sec. Ugh. These are my cabbage. These are ready to transplant, and I think I might transplant one of these out into a container soon, because they're pretty cold hardy, and we're not going to be having any freezing in the foreseeable future. And if we do, since it's in a pot, I can bring it inside. So then here are my jalapeno peppers. Every single one of them is jalapeno. I'm not going to do any, yes, maybe I will do some sweet peppers just for like fresh eating, but I'm only going to be doing jalapeno because they're going to go hand in hand with my Amish paste for what I make. And then I've topped these 3 times now, to try and get encourage that root growth, down here. And they really are pushing down there, so that's great. These are ready to go. I could plant these outside at any time now. They're plenty mature enough to plant. I'm gonna have a ton of onions if these all transplant well. I'm gonna start hardening them off here after this little rain forecast that we get for the next couple days. So Sunday, I'm gonna start hardening them off and hopefully plant after work one night this week. I still have to space out my in-ground garden and put my posts in to mark my rows. Once I do that, then I can start planting, because then I know where everything's gonna go. So I'm gonna grab a bucket or probably a tote, something, and I'm going to start going to the back deck and getting all the soil out of the planters and throwing some compost in. So I am going to use this kiddie pool to put all of the deck planters soil in, and then I'm going to use the compost and just put in, amend as I need. It's not really a ratio of any kind. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it and wing it. So I'm going to get clearing these out. I'm going to throw all of the soil into here, add the compost, mix it up really well, and then it's going back into the planter. I just played one of my clips back to myself, and you get my crazy work hair. Sorry I didn't get all dolled up for you guys. it's a Wednesday, and I just want to get this done. I don't have time to do hair and makeup, so you're getting homeless Amanda. But I did just clean out 3 of these deck planters, 1, 2, and 3. These are some claw gloves I got as a gift, I think from my mother-in-law, and they're super handy. I didn't want to go try and dig around for a little trowel to try and dig all the dirt out. These work just fine. Scoop and use an old planter to pull it out, and as you can see, I didn't really get all the dirt out. Not too worried, because this dirt looks pretty darn good. I'm gonna flip this around. So this is the old, I'm pretty sure I used that same stuff in that yellow bag for this. I'm not going to add a whole lot of compost. This is just pretty good looking soil. There wasn't a whole lot of debris in it. It clumped together nicely because it's still wet from the rain. I'm going to add just a little sprinkling of compost on this, mix it up with my hands, and it's going right back into the planters. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then if I need to add more into these to make them full, then I'm just going to grab out of these leftover bags and get them in there. I do have a couple things I want to talk about with raised bed or planter gardening. So typically with raised bed gardens and pots and stuff like that, you have to water them a lot more frequently than you would an in-ground garden. They just don't retain moisture that well because they're up. The soil temperature is a lot warmer than your in-ground gardens because they're not in the ground, because they don't have that insulation. They're in a pot that's exposed to the sun all day long, and it has no way of cooling down. So watering is one thing that I've learned with doing like the lettuce and stuff. I was almost watering every day. So that's one of the cons, I guess you could say, for, you know, above ground gardening. But as long as you stay on top of it, or you can even get, my friend gave me a planter for my deck, and I'm going to be adding that to this, and I might put a cabbage in it. She gave me the planter, and the planter had a water globe in it. So you could fill up water globes and stick them in, and then the soil will wick up that water as it needs it. So if you want to invest in water globes, which I might, to help, you know, take some of the workload off, because I got a lot going on. I might do that with some of these. If you're going to be doing potatoes, well, and tomatoes, in above ground stuff, you want to water them really well. Potatoes and tomatoes need a ton of water. So that's one thing with container gardening. Another thing is pests. Not so much the winged kind, but the four-legged kind, as in my cats. So what I had to do last year, or the year before, last year, I had to put in here plastic forks. I put plastic forks in there and I stuck them up like that, and I made it uncomfortable for them to try and walk in there because they would lay on my lettuce. They would just come walk in the beds because, you know, this is how they get in and out. Here's the little planters. They just decide to take a nap in there. So you want to make sure that if you have critters, try and make it as unpleasant as you can for them with sitting in them. So here's something that you could do as well if you wanted to do strawberries, which I might. I might use this for strawberries. If you wanted to, you could just leave this as it is, raised bed soil, a little bit of compost, and go to town. Just plant whatever you want that could do shallow in here. Lettuces, you know, at a loss for words right now. Kale, so any kind of things like that. I would venture to say you could try and do radishes in here if you want. Herbs, definitely you could do little baby herb garden in here. You could do something cute where you take a planter, a terracotta planter like that, stick it in the middle. You could do something beautiful like flowers in it and then do herbs all around. Or, I mean, there's just a number of things that you could do with kiddie pool, and they're pretty cheap because I just saw one at my local dollar store for like $10. So grab that. Or another thing people have done, you could do it in straight compost. You could do it in the garden soil bags. Either one. You take the bag and you would lay the bag down flat, find a spot. If it's like you want to grow food and you don't have the means and you can only afford to do something like this, you can buy this bag of soil, lay it down, and then cut along the edges like this, and then take the top off, or the package off, and then you have basically a raised bed in a bag. And you could go ahead and plant your seeds in there and do lettuce and pretty much everything I just said. So that's an opportunity too. It's not like Pinterest aesthetically pleasing, and that's fine, because clearly I'm not going for that either. I'm going for growing food and being able to eat off my back deck. Walk out my back door and I have food. That's my goal, and that's what I want you guys to give a try too. Don't be afraid to just experiment. I mean, if you grow one little lettuce leaf and you're able to eat it, that's a victory. That's great. That's what you got to do. It's trial and error, and that's the only way you can do it, is by getting your feet wet. So let's get back to it. I'm gonna fill these up, and then I'll be back once I've amended these and refilled them, and we'll kind of show you where we're sitting. Hi, baby. Hi, girlfriend. You come to visit? You want to lay in these, but you can't. Nope. Hard no, sister. And there's the ladies and Krabby Aussie way out in the field. She went in the back, Livs. She went way in the back. Nope, you're not climbing in the bed. Girl, this is my point. Yeah, honey. She went toward the back. She went to the back deck.
Can I go?
Yeah, of course you can. Okay. So we have these all filled up, and I'm going to go grab my lettuce container with all my seeds in it, and we're gonna go through some seeds and see what we want to plant. Okay, we're also gonna get a little concert in the background because my oldest is practicing guitar outside. Anyway, got Merlot lettuce, the mesclun. I'm probably gonna do this for sure. Loose leaf blend. What are you? Oh, yeah. I'm gonna have to do some dark green, lovely contrast, delicate, blah, blah, blah. I might have to try that one. And then we have Rocky Top lettuce, spinach. I'll be planting spinach for sure. I'm not sure which one. I might go with this Bloomsdale. This is kind of cool, right? A little weird cabbage. I thought I had kale, and I'm not going to do heading lettuce. I did do mesclun, didn't I? Or not mesclun, the red. Yeah, I might do that. These are the ones I did last time I planted in the deck planters, and I thought for sure I do have kale. Here it is. Way bottom. Oh no, we're spilling. Okay, blue curled Scotch kale. We're going to do that for sure. Goodness. Since these are open, I'm probably going to go ahead and do butter crunch and this rouge de Hiver. Don't judge me. I don't know how to say that. And then that'll be 1, 2, 3 beds, or beds, I guess, raised planters. And then we will do this Bloomsdale spinach, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I have 5 raised. All right, what's the lucky 5th gonna be here? This mesclun looks super good. Let's go with that. So these are the 5 that I'm going to plant. This mesclun, Amanda, that's mesclun. Spinach, my goodness, kale, butter crunch, and the red one. We're not even gonna attempt the name. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these planted and water them, and probably try and find something to protect them from the cat. Okay, so I'm kind of going to chaos garden this. There's a lady on Instagram that I like to follow, and she calls the way that she plants some stuff is chaos gardening, and she just throws it down, gives it a little rough up, and waters it and leaves it. And since these are such a shallow plant anyway, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to completely sow this entire planter, because before I did a couple rows and it gave me some, but not quite enough. So I'm going to try and get this whole thing growing, because it's plenty deep enough for roots, and I'm just going to plant it and see what happens. And I actually did not plant all of it, so I'm going to put the rest of this back in the package, and then we're going to make sure to label this pot because I don't want to plant this and not know what I got grown in there. I got about 1 billion of these on Amazon. This is just one of like 4 little bricks of tags, and it also came with this cool little pen. I'll get it a little closer here. This cool little pen, and it came with 2 sides. So this side has more of a thicker tip on it, and then this side is super thin. So you can choose which one. If you have a lot to write or if the name of the plant is super huge, you can use the thinner side. And so I just went ahead and labeled what we got going on in here, and that's gonna get shoved nice and deep in there. I don't want it to go flying out in the wind, so it's in that corner so I know what we have in there. And there we go. Now we just let them germinate, do their thing, and we'll be having lettuce in no time. I'm very confident about this. This is going to be a great addition to our back porch. I'll be able to come right out and grab any greens that I need, especially with all the salads that I've been having lately, and it's going to be awesome. Good job. So I watered them, and now we're just going to let them sit. And then before I close out this video, I just wanted to take a minute, sit on my back porch, and kind of chat with you guys real quick. So I just kind of wanted to sit and take a minute with you and explain why I'm doing what I'm doing with this channel. I kind of have gone into it a little bit before, but I really wanted to, I felt the need that I needed to express it a little bit more with you guys so that you understood where I'm coming from and what my goal is with this. So it's no secret that I am a big girl, right? And I'm on a path now that is taking me into weight loss. And not just weight loss, but also just general health. I have 3 kids. I have a 10-acre homestead. I have plans beyond plans for this place, and this body is not going to do that for me. You guys can totally do your own research and do what you want to do with that information. What I've researched and what I'm learning is that I need to go back to the way that they used to eat a long time ago. Processed foods that come in a box, pre-made stuff. I'm trying to weed that out of our lives as much as possible. I have been doing lean and green is what it's called, and so that's a lean meat and then green vegetables. So spinach, salads, zucchini, stuff like that. Very limited with um, like the starchy potatoes and stuff. Not doing that right now. Um, I'm just trying to get my body back on a better balance, that I guess you could say. And I have lost 20 pounds so far. And it's not just about the weight loss for me, which it needs to happen for my health. I need to lose weight, but it's so much more than that. And the fact that I can grow my own food and teach other people or help other people to be encouraged to do the same is my goal. That's my passion. This is what I love. If I could quit my job, my day job, and do just this, I would so do that. I would grow food. I would teach people. I would have people to my house and show them how to do these things like our great great grandparents used to do. We process the food that we grow and feed it to our families because it's so much better nutrient wise. Even, I mean, you think of some of the chemicals, and I understand that there's chemicals needed to grow in huge quantities, and that's controversial in itself, but this is just my opinion. This is just from my family. Y'all can do what you need to do with your family, but for me, I want to go back to growing what you eat, just like I said, our great grandparents did. And so that's growing our own chicken on our land. I mean, you just saw the ladies over there. That's where we do our meat birds, and we actually have some more footage coming of that. We have meat birds coming the end of May, so we're gonna have some baby meat birds, and then this coming Monday, so the 15th, no, Tuesday the 15th, I think. I'm not good with my days, guys, but I'm gonna have some more layers coming. We got some more hens, and so we're gonna be adding to our flock eggs, meat birds. We got the hog that I showed you guys from a guy that lives just over there, not too far away. He's raised hogs for forever, and yes, these were raised on grain because they were raised out for mostly over the winter time, but they also weren't given any antibiotics. Like, they were well taken care of, and they were grown locally. And we got some beef that's grass finished beef from one of my husband's friends. And I'm very grateful that we have these friends and neighbors that we can purchase from while we're in the middle of our infrastructure building. So there's ways to do it even if you live in town. If you have no desire to live in the country, you can still do this kind of stuff. There's a lot of places that will allow you to have chickens. Crazily enough, my town that my address is to allows chickens, but then there's a super even smaller town straight north of me, and they don't allow yard chickens. So I mean, it just kind of got to figure out what you want, or what you want to have at your property, and then do a little bit digging on the rules. Ask your local extension office. They would know these kind of things too. Go to your courthouse. But I mean, when there's a will, there's a way, I guess, is what it's coming down to. My will is to feed my family the best that I can. And no, we're not perfect. My little one just asked for Scooby snacks from the dollar store, so I got her little gummy Scooby snacks. And like, we're in a process of moving to a more self-sufficient lifestyle, and I feel like it's just so rewarding when you actually dive in and do it, and you grow things with your own two hands, and you make a meal that you grew, chicken and potatoes and the corn, and you can sit down and have a family supper. And the bread, I didn't necessarily grow the grain, but I could. I've researched it. I'm thinking about doing it, but I mean, that I made the bread from scratch, and it doesn't have the preservatives in it. And just the immense pride that I feel in being able to do that is, I want everybody to feel that. That's my passion, is to just be able to show you that it's doable for someone like me. I was city raised my entire life. I only started getting into this in about 2015 when I instantly became a mom and a stepmom, and I wanted these girls to have the best. I wanted them to I wanted to give them everything that I could, that was good. Everything in my power. And homesteading just ended up being that natural path for me. We live in the country. My husband had this before I moved out here and we got married. And God blessed me with this to be able to put the work in it with him. And we do this work alongside each other. And we have apple trees we're going to be putting in. And it's just, we're making the best with what we have. And I hope that you guys can do that too with your properties and your tools and your means. And it doesn't have to be out of this world expensive. A lot of this stuff I've been doing and acquiring over the past 10 years. I mean, a little less than 10 years, but it's just so rewarding to be able to do this and to be able to fuel your body the way that it needs to be fueled. I'm not doing breads. My family's still doing breads, but I mean, it's still better bread than buying it at the store with all the stuff in it. So I am encouraging you guys to go ahead and give it a try. If it's scary, that's okay. You can screw up. Nobody said that you couldn't screw up, and that's not failing. That's learning. That's the best thing. Is it may not have come out to be edible if you're baking bread and you burn it, or it's hard as a rock. Now you can go and see what you did wrong and learn from that and get better. I'm telling you right now, I've tried a million bread recipes and I finally found one that I love. And it took me years. I still haven't found a sourdough bread recipe that I'm good at. The focaccia bread, yes, I can do that. No problem. That's a good one. But actual loaf, I'm still learning, and that's okay. And that's all I want for you guys too, is to just be able to have that freedom to go out there and try. And to try and grow that food for your family, or for you if you're single, or for your, parents if they're older. Help fuel their body with good nutritious stuff and just give it a shot. That's all I'm wanting to do, is give you guys that encouragement. And I really appreciate you guys being here with me through this journey. I have almost 200 subscribers, with which it floors me. I don't know why 200 people would want to sit and listen to me, but I'm grateful for you. And I'm so glad you're here with me. Please stay tuned. I want to keep encouraging you guys. There's going to be a lot more coming. The weather is beautiful now. We're going to have a little bit of rain, but we'll work around it. Then we'll be getting in the garden. We'll be planting these apple trees. We have baby chickens coming. There's a beautiful granary over there I've shown you guys before. We want to bring over to our property. There's going to be a greenhouse that we're going to be building. I've been collecting windows for, and we're going to take down this pen back here that's my dog's pen and move it over here so that we can extend the deck maybe in a couple years. But this will also be where the greenhouse gets put, and some raised beds. I have ambitious dreams. My husband brings me back down to reality, but we're going to try and do as much as we can this summer with what we've got. And that's just what I'm doing. That's my passion. That's my hobby. That's my goal in life, is to just have this homestead, build it into something beautiful with my husband and my children. And that maybe someday, if I'm too old to be able to do this, I can pass this on to my kids and they can have something that's going to produce food for them and be that security blanket. Because this world, there's nothing secure. But I could do this for my children. And I hope you guys take the leap and just do it with me. And there's Ozzy. He's always got something to say to me. So like, subscribe, share, comment, tell me what you're thinking, what's some stuff you want to see. I think my email is listed in the description somewhere on my YouTube. You can email me with questions. I'm here for anybody. If you have anything you want to say, please keep it nice. That's all I ask. Be nice to each other. Be nice to me. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, that's totally fine. You can beat feet out of here, but I just thank you guys for being here, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and we will catch you hopefully on Sunday. Bye, guys.